Hey Luis, thanks for the submission. This is looking great. I have just like little suggestions. Like this is looking like pretty strong in my mind. Um, so suggestions that I have are just like things that I'm gonna wonder. I'm gonna wonder out loud to you these questions, and you can decide whether you agree or disagree with them. But I'm still kind of like I think I've been a little, maybe a little soft on my notes, and I think it was something that some thoughts I had after last week. I'd given you notes and like kind of saw that I kind of saw your reference, and then it made me really question why. Like if I watch on the blue foot, like I love this leg swing and this foot plant. There's a lot of personality in that, and that's great. But then it like pivots on the heel of the foot coming through here, and then it pivots strongly on the ball of the foot. So it switched from pivoting on the heel to pivoting on the ball, and then the whole foot kind of slides over, and then it pivots on the ball of the foot again, right? And it feels complicated. It feels overly complicated for what it is. So I think I would, so these are my suggestions. I would land the foot the way that you have it. Great, brilliant. I don't think this pivot here is necessary before you do the foot slide out. Because as the foot is sliding, I feel like you have a lot of freedom to rotate the foot while having the weight still be kind of plausible in the character, like feeling like they actually have weight and they're connected to the ground and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? But then it rotates back in here. And I'm questioning like if that's necessary to do that, like after it comes out to this position. Maybe you just have it in whatever final rotation you want it to be in instead of having this other move here, right? So it could just go into its final rotation, whatever that is, here, and then just not rotate again, or at least not as extreme. So those are my thoughts about that, because I find myself looking at the footwork a lot more than I would want to. Like, I kind of want more of my attention to be upstairs. You know what I mean? Like, and just more like kind of catch the footwork on my periphery. But because it's kind of like detailed and because it kind of goes left and right quicker than anything else in the shot, I find it's like catching my attention more because it's moving the fastest and it's changing directions the most. I guess that's how that feels like the best explanation I can give. I love that you cleaned up the hand in the pocket, you cleaned up the stick on the shoulder. All of that is looking fantastic. I do feel a little bit like the head and the torso are still kind of connected a lot. You know what I mean? Especially when I look at it in this front view. So I don't know if there's something that can be done to clean, to maybe like, so I know that the head doesn't have any visible topography or indication of like where the center is, but let's say that's the center. When you come over here, it's like it's really off center. I don't know if it's possible, and it's fine to be not perfectly center. In fact, it's desirable, but maybe you could get it a little bit back more towards on center to help break up its rotation from the torso's rotation a little bit more. I mean, here you're doing something different than what you do on this side of the walk when it turns. Like here you have this lean, which I find that to be interesting and appealing. I like that choice. But there is like a little, I feel like the spacing, like be careful of the spacing from here to here feels pretty abrupt. So let's see. It's like hanging out in this space. That's great. That change there. All of this is great. But then from here to here, it feels a bit sudden. Let's see if ghosting. Yeah, so maybe you just need to like bias this one a little closer over here, and then bias the next one a little bit back, and then go into the spacing that you have. Just a tiny little tweak maybe is enough. I know I say like, oh, just adjust the spacing, but what that involves is probably, you know, doing something with the neck or doing something with the torso and making sure you're not getting penetrations with the stick or the cane, you know what I mean? So I know that you're solving a puzzle of problems up here, and I think you're mostly there, but that little spacing is catching my eye. And then there's a little bobble or hiccup too that I'm seeing on the side view, right, I feel like here on the spacing. Again, this is pretty estimating. It's not like I'm doing careful tracking of this, but I think if we look at the spacing of this, we'll see that here you're making some big moves, and then it kind of stops really abruptly. So maybe this one needs to be more of like an in-between between where it's coming from and where it's going to. Like here, when it juts forward again, you know what I mean? So right here when it stops, it's creating like a little something for me, like a little hitch or a little bobble that doesn't look quite natural. Yeah, and the other side has a little bit, but maybe it feels lessened. It feels only when the red foot is forward that I'm really feeling that. But otherwise, I feel like, man, this is looking great. It's got a lot of great personality to it. It's got a cool walk. It is a cool walk. I don't know. I don't want to blow anything up, but I am going to make a small suggestion. Take it or leave it, because again, I really don't want to like blow anything up. But the torso is like so straight, and it's also so straight up and down, that I wonder if we could get a little bit of shaping in there without causing too much problems, or maybe a little lean forward in there without causing too many problems. So I'm just going to leave it to you to think about. By shaping, I mean, you know, maybe like a little indication of the small of the back, or, you know, because spines like go like this in people. It's kind of like an S curve, but it feels like there's a smaller curve in the small of the back when it connects into the pelvis, stuff like that. So that it's not just so like, because obviously the character is very boxy. It's boxy by its design and whatever. So I don't know if there's a way to fight that a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know if your torso is on FK or IK. If it's still on IK, maybe it's easy to get like the tiniest indication in the small of the back. Maybe it'll be easy. If it's FK, maybe it's easy to kind of pitch it forward by giving a little rotate up on the big cog control. I don't know. But that may mess up the relationship between the stick and the shoulder and the hand, because I don't know if the hand's FK or IK and what else is going on. But strong piece, great stuff. Love seeing it. I think this is really cool. All the notes I'm giving are pretty teeny tiny nitpicky notes. I think maybe, again, nitpicky note, just looking at like narrowing in on the feet, maybe keep the feet a little bit biased down. Like, I like the rate at this, you know, maybe give it, okay, so here we see the heel is lifting from here to here, but then it like kind of switches directions. So maybe you need something a little closer to the previous frame, and then a couple frames just to transition into this a little bit. It looks really nice from the front view, but when I see it from the side view, like this kind of bend in the ankle looks difficult and awkward to achieve. But by the time you're here, it looks fine and natural. So maybe that's just a way to kind of I don't know. Again, just something for you to think about. All right. That'll be it. I promise. I promise. But anyways, great work. This looks fantastic, and I can't wait to see it next week. I think you're close to being done, so maybe like one more submission, or if you're comfortable with that, and I can give you notes on that final round submission. But I would encourage you to start thinking about what you want to do, you know, for the last like 6 weeks of class, what kind of piece. If you want to do another type of walk or a run, that's fine. If you want to do some kind of like weight exercise with like heavy lifting or a push or I don't know, whatever. If you want to do a pantomime piece too, like that'd be fine too. So yeah, just start thinking about it, start planning for it, so that come after the break, we can try to get into the next thing. All right, talk to you later.